Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a focused learner trying to cut through all the noise out there, you're in the exact right place. We're diving straight into the realities and the absolutely immense benefits of a career in the electrical trades, pulled right from the Mastermind PNG series. I'm so pumped to unpack this with you, because the electrical trade, it's not just a job. It's a wildly dynamic, future-proof career. We're going to cover the massive economic perks, the day-to-day grind, and the non-negotiable safety blueprints you need to actually thrive. So grab a coffee, get dialed in, and let's go. Okay, our whole explainer today really hinges on this one exact sentiment from the Mastermind PNG script. If you're thinking about getting into the trades or wondering if becoming an electrician is worth it, I'm going to share exactly why I chose this path. You know, if you're on the fence right now about your future, maybe you're a student weighing your options, or you're just looking to make a massive career pivot, this is literally for you. We're going to break down exactly why this specific path is one of the smartest moves you could ever make, both for your brain and your bank account.
Right off the bat, we've got to totally dismantle this super common, frankly outdated stereotype. People usually picture trade work as just, pure manual labor, just swinging a hammer, pure brute force. But the reality of electrical work, it is entirely different. It's a true brain and brawn hybrid. You aren't just using your hands. You're doing high-level fault diagnosis, using serious logic, doing complex circuit analysis, and reading incredibly detailed technical schematics. You're basically solving these giant, high-stakes puzzles every single day. It requires a mental sharpness that totally balances out the physical sweat of the job.
And honestly, think about what that mental agility actually looks like on the job. You're out there with a multimeter, reading the invisible flow of energy, diagnosing problems using sophisticated tools and strict logical flow. When a huge, complex system goes down, you have to systematically isolate the fault. It's intense. Your problem-solving skills get put to the ultimate test. It really is highly intellectual work, just kind of masquerading as a blue-collar job. And man, speaking of the work, we have to talk about the payoff. There's this profound, honestly, almost addictive personal satisfaction in this trade. Just imagine wiring a massive switchboard from scratch, managing dozens of circuits, making sure everything is perfectly organized. Then comes the moment of truth. You flip that main breaker for the very first time and boom. Seeing a dead circuit suddenly wake up and turn into a glowing, humming, fully working system, that gives you a hit of instant accomplishment that very few office jobs can ever match. It's an immediate, totally tangible sense of pride. You built that. You made it work. So, how does that translate to your daily life? Well, an electrician's routine is incredibly dynamic. If the idea of sitting in a cubicle staring at the exact same spreadsheet every day sounds like torture to you, then you're gonna love this. Your week could literally be detailed residential installs on Monday, moving on to massive commercial builds by Wednesday, and then getting called out for heavy industrial troubleshooting on Friday. The environment changes, the challenges change, the scale changes. Because of that massive variety, you are constantly learning, constantly adapting, and honestly, you just never get bored. Section 1. The Future-Proof Reality. Why choose the trade today? So, we've talked about the personal satisfaction, but let's zoom out and look at the macroeconomics. The whole world right now is going through a massive electrification movement. We're talking solar panels going up on millions of homes, massive EV charging networks rolling out everywhere, industrial automation, and these incredibly complex smart grid systems. Our entire power infrastructure is getting a colossal upgrade. And who do you think is actually installing, maintaining, and fixing all of that? Electricians. This global shift guarantees that skilled electrical workers are in constant, unbeatable demand. The job security here is, quite frankly, bulletproof. But here is the massive financial advantage that honestly just does not get talked about enough. It's the earn while you learn model. It's a ridiculously straightforward three-step path. Step 1, you become an apprentice. Step 2, you are earning a steady income literally from day one on the job. Step 3, you are learning hands-on, highly technical skills. And you know what's completely missing from that equation? Crippling student debt. While traditional college students are racking up tens of thousands in loans just to sit in a lecture hall, an electrical apprentice is getting paid to learn a specialized, insanely high-demand skill. Talk about a massive head start on financial independence. And please do not think for a second that electrician is just one static job title. Once you master those foundational skills, the ceiling is practically limitless. There are so many diverse career pathways. You could start your own business and get into contracting. You could transition over to project engineering or become an electrical inspector. You could be an estimator, pricing out multi-million-dollar jobs. Or you could pivot into super specialized fields like industrial controls and automation. This isn't just a job to pay the bills. It's a lifelong career ladder with huge avenues for growth and serious earning potential. Section 2. Essential advice. The blueprint for success. Okay, now that we've looked at the destination, let's talk about the journey. According to the Mastermind PNG script, there are 4 core pillars any upcoming electrician has to master to perfect their craft and, frankly, stay alive. Number 1, safety above everything. Number 2, master the wiring rules and codes. Number 3, invest in quality insulated tools because your tools are literally your livelihood. And number 4, stay curious and ask questions. You've got to soak up knowledge from the veteran tradespeople around you. Tech moves fast in this field, and the second you stop learning is the second you fall behind. These 4 steps are the absolute keys to long-term survival and major success. Let's really drill down into that first point, safety. In this trade, you absolutely must respect the electricity. If you're just starting out, the golden rule is simple. Never ever compromise on lockout and tagout procedures. Seriously, never assume a circuit is dead just because someone told you it is, or because a switch happens to be flipped out. You always test it yourself with proper gear before touching a thing. Wearing your rated PPE and strictly following compliance, that isn't just annoying corporate red tape. That is exactly what makes sure you get to go home to your family at the end of the shift. And building right off of that safety mindset is knowledge. You have got to master the code books, whether that's the ASS and ZS3000, the NEC, or whatever your local standard is. But here's the real secret. Don't just learn how to wire a circuit so it passes an inspection. You need to deeply understand the why. Why do these standards mandate specific wire gauges or grounding techniques or conduit fills? When you understand the physics, the safety margins, and the fundamental logic behind the rules, that's exactly what elevates you from an average wireman to a true master electrician. And that level of mastery directly translates into craftsmanship and pride. In the electrical trade, your work is your signature. Neat conduit runs, beautifully organized distribution panels, meticulously clean wiring, these are incredibly respected marks of true technical craftsmanship. When another electrician or an inspector opens up a panel you wired, they know instantly exactly what kind of professional you are. Taking deep pride in your work doesn't just make the whole system safer and easier to maintain, it earns you serious respect. It's really where art meets engineering. We're bringing this explainer to a close with this incredibly powerful reflection from our source material. Choosing the electrical trade was one of the best decisions of my life. It gave me a career, valuable skills, and financial independence. I mean, that just brilliantly summarizes everything we've looked at today. It's not just about turning a wrench. It's about completely securing your future in a rapidly evolving world. If you put in the hard work, if you master the physical skills, and train your brain in the logic of the trade, those ultimate life-changing rewards are absolutely waiting for you. Which brings us to a final thought for you to chew on. Are you an apprentice, or are you seriously thinking about joining the trade? I mean, after seeing the reality of the Brawn Hybrid work, the bulletproof job security, and the completely clear path to financial independence without the massive debt, what is holding you back? I highly encourage you to take the leap, work hard, and master the craft. And whatever you do, keep learning. Make sure you dive into the Mastermind PNG community for more awesome trade resources to guide you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay safe out there and go build your future.